Welcome to Success in Motion. Join us as we dive deep with top leaders, entrepreneurs, and professionals, uncovering strategies to grow, scale, and succeed.
Welcome back to the Success in Motion podcast. I'm your host, Alex Burho, and today we have on with us Frank Allen. And Frank has done some really cool things in the realm of physical therapy. He started up his own cash based practice, and he's going to tell us all about what he does and how he's really set himself apart to be successful. So, Frank, thank you again for coming on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. This is cool. I appreciate you. I appreciate being here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Frank, can you just give us a quick snapshot of your business? Catch us up on what you do and all that.
Yes, sir. So my business is Your Place Physical Therapy, and I started it as a cash mobile physical therapy business where I was going to my clients' homes, and I did that for about 2 years, and then I got enough traction and enough of a reputation to transition into a small brick and mortar, which I was in for about a year and a half, and then October of last year, I got big enough and enough demand to move into a much larger brick and mortar. So I went from a 140 square foot office to a 1,400 square foot office, and as of this year, I've hired my first PT, and just a month ago, I brought on my first front desk coordinator employee as well to help out with administrative tasks and things. And we're a business that focuses on the individual and the results and their goals and the lifestyle that they would like to maintain, not so much the volume and the diagnosis and things like that. We treat the entire person and not just the knee or the shoulder or the back or whatever it might be. And because of that kind of treatment style and philosophy and how we do it differently than most other PT practices in the area, I think that is what has brought so many people interested in working with us. And the word of mouth referrals are very big. And we don't really rely on physician referrals at all. It's more some people that we work with telling other people that they hang out with or that they live near or that they play pickleball or golf with or whatever, that this is the company you want to go to if you ever have anything that justifies their needs. And so we essentially drive our own business by the work that we do, and it's a great way to go about it, and it's very rewarding.
So, and definitely word of mouth is definitely the best way to grow, and it's obviously working if you went from 100 some odd square feet to 1,400. That's quite the jump there.
It was a big jump at first, but I needed to make it because I knew I was gonna need to hire somebody very soon, and thankfully, I found the right guy. He's awesome. He's rocking and rolling and killing it, and his patients are having great outcomes and great experiences with him as well. So I really, I feel very, very optimistic about 2025.
Okay. So some of our listeners might not be as familiar with what a cash-based practice is. So can you just catch us up? What is different between your clinic model versus maybe the traditional PT model?
Yes, sir. So I worked in the traditional PT model for 8 years prior to developing a high level of burnout. And I almost went into back to school and became an orthopedic surgeon. But my wife said, I really think you're really good at this. You're really passionate about it. Let's find a way that you can continue doing it, but not get burnout with I was seeing 16, 18, 20 people in an 8-hour day. And in those traditional settings, in order for the companies to generate enough revenue to maintain a certain level of profitability, they have to bring 2, 3 people in every single hour to see one physical therapist because insurance reimburses very poorly for physical therapy services. And so that dumbs down the quality of care. It decreases the patient's ability to feel like they're being listened to and paid attention to. It decreases the therapist's ability to really focus on an individual and listen to them and do the things that they really can do to help them out. And so I purposefully set this business up as a cash-based practice to work outside of the insurance realm. It's a pay at point of service sort of thing. So when people come in here, we're not taking their insurance information and we're not taking all of that. We are just taking payment from them, credit card, debit card, cash, check, those sort of things. And we do provide super bills to give them to submit to their insurance companies for out-of-network reimbursement if that is something that they were interested in. However, it is not a requirement, and a lot of people don't do it, but we don't go through insurance at all so that we can, if we have somebody that's in for shoulder pain and we notice that there are things with their hand and things with their hips that are maybe they're a golfer and they don't have mobility in their hips, and that's causing an increased stress and strain on their shoulder, and that's playing into why their shoulder's bothering them. We can work on their hips too. We can work on their hands. We can work on other parts of the body other than just the shoulder, and enable us to have we do full 60-minute appointments. And we do a very thorough evaluation where if somebody's in for their shoulder, we'll look at the shoulder, of course, we'll look at their neck and their spine and their hips and their alignment and strength and mobility and everything that we can to generate as comprehensive of a picture of what's going on. And then we have all the little details that we have uncovered to really formulate a plan of attack to get not only the shoulder pain relieved and feeling better, but also set them up in a situation where they're going to be able to prevent that issue from returning in the future as they continue living their active lifestyle. And I can confidently and happily say that we have never had a repeat customer for the same issue before because of that approach and how we've really set them up for success and give them all the tools that they need to maintain that level of function once they're done with us. And it's very, very different than the insurance realm where once your pain levels are down and once you can move the arm without a certain level of discomfort and those sort of things, then they cut you loose. They can't see you anymore because insurance isn't going to pay for it anymore. We have a much more active activity focus sort of when we're willing to cut you loose, and it's not just when you get to the point where you can, for instance, golf again, but it's where you get to the point where you are develop so much resiliency and all of those little areas are fine tuned to the point where they're not only golfing their best once they're finished, they're not feeling their best once they're finished, but they're, like I said, capable of preventing that issue from ever returning. So it's a lifestyle, lifelong change, not just a temporary short-term fix of shoulder pain. So very, very, very different outlooks and very, very different approaches.
That's awesome. And I bet the people who see you really appreciate having that whole body care and that whole approach rather than just, hey, let's get you in and out as quick as we can.
It's a timely point to have this interview because if I picked up the laptop and walked you into the back, we have Christmas gifts and baked goods and bottles of wine people brought us, all sorts of stuff. Like it's the, they're very, very, very grateful for the changes that we've guided them to help them make in their lives. And it's a really just beyond just the results and having people come in and say, I can't thank you enough. I can do XYZ things so much better and my life is so much better as a result. They actually go out of their way to pick up gifts and things to bring us. And that just kind of, an actions speak louder than words sort of situation where we really are making a truly highly important impact to these people that we have the opportunity to work with.
That's awesome. And that really is incredible that you're able to make such an impact.
Yes.
So obviously, you're in one field of profession where everyone has something in their head when they think of physical therapy, whether it's, your traditional model, just you're one of the mass numbers going through.
Mhm.
So, what were you able to do to really start showing people and advertising that, hey, we are different? What was your way of differentiating yourself?
So, I one besides just my passion for really truly like wanting to help and make a difference, I make myself available on weekends and evenings and holidays and things like that just because it's not I don't really consider it like, oh, this is annoying, this person's bothering me, they need they have a question about an exercise or whatever it might be. I really 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 do and no exaggeration whatsoever get the biggest high out of these people getting the results that they're trusting me to help them achieve. It really, really, it's up there with hanging out with my daughters and the things that I do with my family and the things that bring me the most joy in my life is helping these people get to that point where they really are feeling how they want to feel by coming to see me. And so I think that just resonates with people that come into my office and work with me. And it's a culture that I've worked to create here. My new PT is the same exact way. And I think people recognize that they can go into any other service industry business and you can tell when somebody truly is passionate about it and really cares about it. And that reflects in these people that come in. And so they can pick up on that and then they tell other people. Again, the word of mouth thing, they tell people that have had PT in the past. That's typically like you go in there, you see one PT and they spend 15 minutes with you and they spend a lot of the time on the computer, hardly even talking to you. And they give you 2 to 3 minutes between exercises where you're just kind of sitting there twiddling your thumbs, waiting on somebody to come and tell you what to do and that sort of thing. Where with us, you're in the office with us, and for the entire hour, all 60 minutes, you get undivided attention with your doctor of physical therapy, and that we're talking to you, we're having deep conversations with you. We get to know how your family is, we get to know your life story, we get to know all those sort of things, and we're not just a medical provider that you go in for an appointment. We became friends with our clients, and we remember your birthdays, and we remember when your daughter has a dance recital, and all those little things, like all of that stuff. It matters, and it really helps people understand how passionate we are about what we do and how how much of a life change we want to make for them. And that's the big thing, I think, is just truly investing yourself in the clients and then getting that reciprocal benefit on our end from making friends and making a difference in their lives, and then getting them to actually realize, like, hey, these people truly do care, and they don't just say they care on their website, but actions speak louder than words again. So that's the big thing, is the approach that we take, and getting people to have such a great experience that they're willing to go tell anybody and everybody and just become walking billboards for us, that, like, if you need any sort of physical therapy service, don't waste your time going to any of these other places. This is the company that you need to go to. So that's the big thing. And another thing that really transformed my business in August of 2022, I joined this program that's a cash-based PT practice, marketing and advertising, networking, and business coaching agency, essentially. And they are owned and operated by a cash-based practice owner that's been really successful in California, and another guy that's really well versed in tech stuff, creating websites and Facebook ads and those sort of things. And once I learned how to appropriately operate a business from the business side of things, like you said, that we don't learn in school, the how to hire, how to set up your pricing, how to do all those things, that it's just, I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants and didn't really understand. And then also how to reach a a demographic of people that I just didn't have any other way of reaching through social media ads, and creating the ads and having the right messages in those ads and having the right audiences to reach them to. They teach you how to target all of that stuff. And once I started implementing that, I went from like an average of 7 to 8 visits a week in a 5-day week to within 3 months having 30 to 40 visits a week, because I was able to get people that I just had no way of getting access to before. Everybody, most people have Facebook, they have Instagram, they have those sort of things. And if you have the right ads and they're scrolling, they see it and it resonates with them, and they're like, this guy, my shoulder's bothering me. And in this ad, it says everything that I'm feeling. Then they're like, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. And that really helped tremendously. And I've been dialed back the ads significantly lately over the past 3 to 4 months, just because our schedule is so busy that there's no need to spend on ads when you already have the volume that you want. And now we're kind of rolling on word of mouth, and people that we've seen are telling other people, like I said, and that's how we're filling our schedule at this point. But there are always peaks and valleys, and as you know, Sarasota is a very seasonal town. So right now is like high influx, heavy volume. But come April, May, June of next year, we're likely going to have to modify the ads again and start trying to reach out to people that aren't snowbirds and are here full time.
Absolutely. And that's awesome that you were able to get a really good mentorship program that really taught you a lot. If anyone's curious, what's the name of that program?
Have a good one, Jeannie. Happy holidays. It's called the Clinical Marketer.
Clinical marketer. Awesome.
Yes.
So,
Can't
how you?
speak high enough about them. They're fantastic. If you're a cash-based PT practice owner, which, I would look at them on in your case as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what would you say some of the biggest challenges have been for you as you've been growing this business?
Not knowing how to run a business was the biggest one. First of all, I knew clinically that I was really good with my skill set, my understanding of the body, and my passion for it, and all those sort of things. I've always been a very well-rounded and not to toot my own horn, but I say good physical therapist, just because I've heard so many other people that I've worked with over my 12 years of doing that tell me that is the case. But I had no idea about how to manage finances, what to prioritize in terms of advertising, and how to advertise, how to network, how to do all of those sort of things. And then just business management, didn't know anything. So until I got some actual coaching on that, that's when things started to change, and I started to make calculated decisions, and work on the business, not just in the business, sort of thing. And that was tremendously helpful. But another one is just the big insurance thing. When you don't take insurance, we regularly, at least once a day, get a phone call. Your Google reviews are great. We really want to work with you, but do you accept Blue Cross, PPO, whatever it might be? And if we say, no, we don't, but these are the reasons why, and we go through, we're able to work with you one-on-one, we're able to treat you full body, we're able to, spend our undivided attention with you. You're going to get the same therapist every time, or much, much better experience and results. It still isn't enough for a lot of people to sway them to, like, 'Cause I get it, insurance is expensive. They're getting money taken out of their paycheck every single pay period, and they wanna use what they're already paying for. However, that type of physical therapy is just subpar, mediocre at best in most instances, but if that's the route they wanna go, we also have researched some practices in the area that are insurance-based that I feel more confident referring people to, so even if somebody calls us and says, I really wanna go somewhere that accepts my insurance," we find a way to help them in some form or fashion by referring them to a place that's probably gonna give them a better experience than others, so, but those would be the 2 big things is, 1, not knowing anything about how to own or operate or run a business, and 2, just having that constant hurdle of voluntarily not accepting insurance just because I wanna be able to go home at night and say, "Everything we did for every client we saw today is by far and away the best they could possibly get." And that to me is more valuable than sacrificing that in any way, shape, or form by going through insurance and following their rules and the limitations they put on our ability to give our absolute best to the people that work with us.
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome, and that's great that you've taken the measures to kind of shore up each one of those hard points. Again, you got the mentorship to teach you the business side. Found really good approaches to the people who don't necessarily want to be outside of the insurance. But that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so again, sounds like things are going really great for you. Found lots of good strategies. You're doing really well. A lot of our guests are looking towards the future and they're, trying to figure out a way to create some passive income to either supplement or replace their current active income. What are your thoughts about this?
So my wife and I are actually currently in the process of looking into real estate's a great way to maintain passive income, and we would like to have a vacation property somewhere in the Blue Ridge Mountains, not too far away, but not too close. Northern Georgia, southern the Carolinas area, that sort of thing. So that's definitely something we're looking closely into and getting a property that we can invest in, fix up a little bit, rent it out for most of the year, and then use it as a vacation home whenever we want to go on family vacations with our girls. So that is one thing. And then another thing is discussing closely with our financial advisors about setting up high yield savings accounts, CDs, different accounts like that generate money based on the money you have in them, just without you having to touch them at all, and just let time do the work.
Absolutely. Both great things to do, both compounding interest as well as, again, a place that you can enjoy as well, but also get a little bit of income with it as well.
Yes, sir.
So, as we're wrapping up our interview, what exciting things or initiatives do you have coming up in the next, say, 6 to 12 months?
So we're growing and growing rapidly in a lot of ways faster than I feel like I could actually keep my grip on it and control it. So it's very exciting. It's very 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 exciting. But I would like to our next venture. I actually have a text from my wife from this morning. She's sending me uh, property kind of options in the Lakewood Ranch area for a second satellite office or a different satellite office to kind of expand into Lakewood Ranch. It's a very active community. It's a great community full of golfers and tennis players and runners and pickleball players and people that prioritize an active lifestyle. And that, in a nutshell, is our target market. The affluent factor helps, but it's not necessary for what we do here. We have plenty of people that aren't, classified as like, rich and wealthy and all that sort of thing. They just want great quality care and they want the results of being able to get back to the life that they want to live. So it's not necessarily the money that justifies an area that we want to work in, but the whole atmosphere of Lakewood Ranch and the amount of people that live there that move there specifically because it's got good weather and lots of options to maintain an active lifestyle. That's an area that we would like to tap into. So we're looking at as I mentioned, that 144 square foot office that I started at as my first brick and mortar. We're looking for something similar to that to kind of branch out into Lakewood Ranch and grow a reputation there, and then eventually in a year or so move into a bigger office like we're in now here. So that would be the next big venture, and possibly hiring another PT to be at this office and just expand through personnel and expand through having a greater um, breadth of locations that we can see people at. Because I do have people that come to us from Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch. I had one lady that came to us from Fort Myers, way down in Punta Gorda. Like people make treks to see us, and we definitely make it worth it for them. But the people that come to me from Lakewood Ranch, they typically are, 45, 50-minute drives. And if I could cut that down for them and open up another location there, that would be ideal.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Again, doing great things with your business.
Yes, sir. All yeah, just passion. That's it. And
Hey,
love.
that's one of the most important things. If you love it, you're going to do better at it.
Yes, sir.
All right, Frank. Well, thank you so much for your time and sharing your thoughts and tips and tricks with us. If anyone would like to connect more with you, whether for your services or just to pick your brain, where should they go?
So our company website, our business is called Your Place Physical Therapy, and our company website is yourplacept.com. And the business cell number is 941-304-5239. And my personal email through the company is my first and last name, Frank Allen, Allen, at yourplacept.com.
Perfect. Well, I would encourage everyone listening to go ahead and reach out to Frank with any of your questions about his industry. And again, we appreciate you listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
I appreciate it, Alex. Thanks you so much.
Thanks for tuning into Success in Motion. Want to share your story? Visit successinmotionpodcast.com /guest to apply and be featured on the show.